Back to the Future is more than just a movie. It's a childhood memory, a timeless cinematic icon that has touched the hearts of millions of viewers around the world. With its compelling time travel storyline, unique characters, and iconic moments, the film has remained relevant through the generations. In today's video, let's go back in time to meet the legendary cast of Back to the Future. From the youthful faces of yesteryear to the experienced present. We'll share with you their real names, current ages, and their career journeys since leaving the spotlight of Hill Valley. At the same time, we'll also take a moment to remember the actors who have passed away, but still live on in the hearts of fans thanks to their indelible marks on the screen. If you were moved by the story of Marty, Doc, and the magical DeLorean, please like, subscribe, and share your most memorable memories of this movie in the comments below. Together, let's keep the Back to the Future journey alive in everyone's hearts. Wendy Jo Sperber brought the character of Linda McFly, Marty's mischievous, funny older sister, to life with a unique charm and energy that made audiences smile. When she took on the role in 1985, Wendy was only 26 years old, but she breathed life into the character, making Linda approachable, lovable, and unforgettable. Sadly, Wendy Jo Sperber passed away on November 29, 2005, at the age of 47, after nearly a decade of courageously battling breast cancer. However, even during her most difficult years, she continued to spread positive energy. She continued to act, appear on screen with a passion that never waned, and founded the West Park Cancer Support Center, a place that brings hope and companionship to patients facing serious illness. Wendy Jo Sperber touched audiences not only with her comedic talent and radiant smile, but also with her huge heart and indomitable spirit. Her legacy goes beyond her roles. It is a story of kindness, strength, and the desire to live each moment to the fullest. A gentle yet powerful light, and it continues to shine quietly to this day. George DiCenzo portrayed Sam Baines, Lorraine's stern but compassionate father, with rare poise and emotional depth. When he joined Back to the Future in 1985 at the age of 44, he was more than just a supporting character. He created a character with a solid presence, reminiscent of the classic breadwinner, the kind of man who made you feel safe with just a look. On August 9, 2010, George DiCenzo died at the age of 70 from sepsis and related complications, ending the journey of a dedicated artist. His decades-long career spanned television, film, and even voice acting, where his deep, soulful voice continued to make an impression, even if only for a brief moment. George DiCenzo may not be a name that makes headlines, but he is the kind of actor any director would love to have on their team. Solid, reliable, and always delivering his work with respect for the audience. His legacy is not one of flash, but of endurance, a quiet but meaningful milestone in the hearts of movie lovers. Norman Alden made his mark on audiences as Lou, the gruff but warm diner owner in Back to the Future. When he took on the role in 1985, he was 61 years old, bringing with him half a century of acting experience and a rare natural demeanor. Despite his short screen time, Norman still made Lou one of the most memorable supporting characters, not because of his long lines, but because of his eyes, voice, and the way he conveyed simple kindness in a noisy space. On July 27, 2012, Norman Alden passed away at the age of 87 from natural causes, ending a long and dedicated artistic journey. He was a familiar face in a series of films, television, and animation, where he left his mark with his warm voice, flexible acting style, and ability to get into character without showing off. Norman Alden was the kind of actor who made you appreciate every little part, someone who could turn a single scene into a memorable moment. His legacy lies not in flashy leading roles, but in his ability to make audiences nod and smile. I remember that guy. A quiet artist, but never obscure. Elsa Raven left an indelible mark as the tireless, relentless, save the clock tower caller in Back to the Future. She was 54 when she joined the film in 1985, and in just a few short minutes on screen, Elsa Raven created an oddly memorable image, a supporting character who played a pivotal role in the plot and became a familiar icon to those who loved the film. She passed away on November 3, 2020, at the age of 91, ending a long and prolific acting career that spanned both television and film. Elsa Raven was often given small roles, but she never considered that a limitation. On the contrary, she brought to each character her own charm, an elusive yet captivating authenticity, making it impossible for the audience not to notice, impossible not to remember. With her unwavering dedication, work ethic, and ability to create depth in just a few short moments, Elsa Raven has proven that sometimes it is the roles with the fewest words that leave the most lasting impressions. She is proof that you don't have to be front and center to be a part of the audience's heart. George Buckflower gracefully transformed into a homeless man in Back to the Future, a short supporting role that left a deep impression on the audience thanks to his subtle humor and quiet, yet charismatic presence. When he joined the film in 1985 at the age of 47, he only appeared in a few scenes, but contributed to creating a consistent connection and bringing a light comedy highlight amid the rapid time knots. George Buckflower, also affectionately known as Buck, passed away on June 18, 2004, at the age of 66 after a battle with cancer. Throughout his decades-long career, he often played characters on the fringes of society, vagabonds, eccentrics, alcoholics, but it was his rustic, natural demeanor and street-life appearance that made him an indispensable face in many films, big and small. Without the flash, without the need for glamour, he feels real, as if he stepped out of the ordinary world and happened to appear on screen. From mainstream cinema to classic B-movies, Buckflower has always left his mark. He doesn't need to be the central character to become an icon. Just a few lines, a characteristic slouch, and a meaningful stare are enough to make viewers remember him forever. George Buckflower is the embodiment of the supporting role that lives on in the memory, not loud, but enduring as an indispensable part of popular cinema. Joe Flaherty made an indelible mark in Back to the Future Part 2 as the Western Union messenger who shows up just in time in the pouring rain to hand Marty a letter from 70 years ago. When he took on the role in 1985 at the age of 43, Flaherty only appeared briefly, but his unique expressions and dramatic performance turned that brief moment into one of the most memorable scenes in the entire series. Sadly, he passed away on April 2, 2024, at the age of 82, after a short battle with illness. Joe Flaherty was not only known as an excellent supporting actor, but also a monument in the North American comedy scene, especially for his pioneering role on the show SCTV. He had a gift for turning the most eccentric characters into vivid, profound, and hilarious figures, always with intelligence, subtlety, and a distinct sense of humor. While his role in Back to the Future was a small detail in his rich career, it speaks volumes about what made Flaherty special, his ability to leave a lasting impression in a matter of seconds. His legacy, from television to film to comedy, is a testament to the power of enduring creativity, wit, and humanity. A name that will be remembered with respect and a fond smile. Michael J. Fox brought to life Marty McFly, a young, quick-witted, adventurous man, a role that not only made his name but also became an immortal icon in the history of cinema. When he took on the role of Marty in 1985, Fox was only 24 years old, but with his natural demeanor, versatile acting ability, and charming humor, he made this character a part of the childhood memories of millions of viewers around the world. Now 63 years old, Michael J. Fox is still one of the most beloved faces in Hollywood. From classic comedy roles to profound dramatic transformations, He has always shown his versatility in acting and the ability to touch the hearts of viewers. However, what makes Fox an icon beyond his artistic career is his courageous journey after being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at the age of 29. Instead of retreating, he chose to stand up. He founded the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the world's leading organization for Parkinson's research, and continues to fight and inspire millions of people facing the disease. Despite his health challenges, Fox remains optimistic, continues to appear in projects, and conveys humane and sincere messages. From Marty McFly to his own life, Michael J. Fox is more than just a star. He is a living testament to courage, inner strength, and resilience in the face of adversity. An icon not only of cinema, but also of hope. Christopher Lloyd portrayed one of the most memorable film characters of all time as Dr. Emmett Brown, the eccentric inventor with messy hair, a bewildered gaze but bright with ideas, and an endless spirit of adventure. When he took on the role of Doc Brown in 1985 at the age of 46, Lloyd not only brought humor, but also infused the character with a humanistic emotional depth, making him an irreplaceable icon in the hearts of fans. Now 86, Christopher Lloyd remains one of the most respected names on the silver screen. His career spans decades from stage to television to film, with his versatility and ability to master every type of role, from quirky and humorous to sad and profound. It is this dedication and unique acting style that makes him a great storyteller with his body, voice, and eyes. While Doc Brown may be his most iconic role, it is only a small part of the repertoire of characters Lloyd created throughout his career. He didn't just play a role, he lived each one to the fullest, leaving a lasting impression on viewers. Christopher Lloyd was the embodiment of pure passion for the art of acting, and even after his passing, he remains an inspiration to those who believe that a role, if sincere enough, can change the way we see the world. Leah Thompson left an indelible mark on audiences when she transformed into Lorraine McFly, the young, charming, and emotional mother in Back to the Future. This role not only brought depth to the storyline, but also breathed into the film a gentle yet subtle humor, contributing to shaping the unique character of the entire series. When she took on the role of Lorraine in 1985 at the age of 24, Leah Thompson excellently portrayed both the innocence and naivety of a teenager and the experience and gentleness of a future mother. A performance that required a transformation that is not easy for a young actress. Now 63 years old, Leah Thompson remains a beloved icon, not only in front of the camera, but also behind it. She has expanded her career into directing, demonstrating her multidimensional artistic ability and continuing to leave her mark on the entertainment industry. With her charismatic style and ability to balance comedy and drama, she has built a lasting, profound artistic journey that is always respected by her colleagues. Although Leah's career has spanned many genres and diverse roles, the image of Lorraine McFly has always been one of the symbols associated with her name, not only because of her special charm, but also because of the sincere emotions and quiet charm she conveys through each frame, a role of a lifetime coming from an actress with enduring talent and a heart that always burns with art. Crispin Glover delivered a unique and unforgettable performance as George McFly, the shy, awkward, but sincere father in Back to the Future. Taking on the role in 1985 at the age of 21, Glover fully portrayed the journey from a weak, insecure boy to a man who dares to stand up for what he believes in. The subtle changes in his expressions and demeanor turned George McFly into an emotional highlight, contributing to the humanistic depth of the film. Today, at the age of 60, Crispin Glover is still steadfastly pursuing an artistic path that is deeply personal. He has not only stopped at acting, but has also succeeded as a director, writer, and producer, a true artist with a bold and innovative experimental spirit. His projects, whether mainstream or independent, are always unique, unconventional, and full of psychological depth. Crispin Glover does not simply play a role, he immerses himself in the character, challenges conventional standards, and gives the audience a feeling that is both strange and real. It is this difference that has helped him affirm his own unique position in the hearts of cinema lovers as an artist who always dares to be different, dares to go beyond the limits. Tom Wilson left an indelible mark on audiences with his role as Biff Tannen, the classic bully in Back to the Future. At the age of 26, when he took on the role in 1985, Wilson not only brought menace and aggression to the character, but also skillfully incorporated elements of satirical humor, making Biff one of the most memorable and iconic villains in popular cinema. Now, at the age of 65, Tom Wilson continues to dedicate himself to the arts with a relentless creative spirit. In addition to acting on screen and in television shows, he has made his mark in the field of voice acting and is a multi-talented artist, composing charming comedy music, drawing unique paintings, and regularly performing comedy monologues on stage. His works always show a sharp perspective and full of personality. Though Wilson has played many different roles, Biff Tannen remains a memorable figure. A character both ridiculous and terrifying, played with rare precision. It is his ability to balance humor and aggression, cartoonishness and psychological depth that makes Tom Wilson a unique villain. One that not only angers, but also makes people laugh. And that is what makes Biff so enduring in popular culture, thanks to the great talent of Tom Wilson. Claudia Wells brought the image of a gentle, devoted, and understanding girlfriend, a character who contributed to the emotional balance of Marty McFly's tumultuous adventure. At just 19 years old in 1985, she displayed a natural demeanor, warm eyes, and delicate acting, making the role of Jennifer Parker, despite her short appearance, still deeply ingrained in the audience's memory. After the resounding success of Back to the Future, Wells chose to leave the spotlight to care for her seriously ill mother. It was a brave and loving decision, giving up the spotlight for family, at a time when her film career was wide open before her. Despite temporarily putting her acting career on hold, Wells remained connected to the film world. She participated in independent projects and often appeared at fan conventions, where she was always welcomed as an indispensable part of the film's legacy. Claudia Wells is not only an actress, but she has also established herself in the business world by running a high-end men's fashion store in Los Angeles, where she continues to spread her style, warmth, and bravery. Wells's journey is a testament to the right choice between duty and passion. Her role as Jennifer, gentle, sincere, and emotional, still lives on in the hearts of audiences as a beautiful part of the memories of Back to the Future. Mark McClure has brought the image of a sincere, close friend and always present at the right time. A silent but indispensable support in the turbulent world of Marty McFly. When he joined Back to the Future in 1985 at the age of 28, he breathed into his character a natural likability, both humorous and warm, making the audience immediately feel familiar, as if he were a high school friend that everyone had. Before that, McClure became a familiar face to global audiences through his role as Jimmy Olsen in the Superman series, portraying a young, enthusiastic, and honest reporter, a typical model for the kind, simple roles he has played throughout his career. Now, at the age of 67, Mark McClure has persistently pursued his art, appearing regularly in many film and television projects, continuing to stick with roles that reflect the sincerity and optimism that have been his hallmark since the early days. In particular, he often appeared in works paying tribute to the classic series he participated in, not only as a living symbol, but also as a bridge between memory and the present. In Back to the Future, McClure's character was not loud or leading, but it was his genuine and emotional presence that made the story more humane and close, a value that remains intact in the hearts of fans to this day. James Tolkien left an unmistakable mark as the stern, sharp-tongued, and authoritative manager, a character who brought both tension and wry humor to Back to the Future. At 54, when he joined the film in 1985, Tolkien was an uncompromising presence, with every glance and line of dialogue exuding a fierceness that kept audiences glued to him. Now, at 93, James Tolkien is still revered as an icon of 1980s cinema. With a background in theater, he always brought a professional, steady demeanor and inner depth to every role, whether leading or supporting, whether appearing for a long time or just for a moment. In addition to his role as Principal Strickland, he made a strong impression in Top Gun as Commander Stinger and Masters of the Universe, where he continued to demonstrate his signature tough but charismatic style. Although he has not appeared much on screen in recent years, James Tolkien is still an irreplaceable monument, a testament to the power of subtle, decisive, and richly personal acting. His artistic legacy is not only contained in a few outstanding roles, but also lies in the special charisma that makes each appearance a memorable moment for audiences around the world. J.J. Cohen was a standout as the rebellious villain of Back to the Future, bringing an edgy edge and fiery energy to the high school scenes. He was only 19 when he joined the film in 1985, but he exuded a confident, daring demeanor, enough to make his character stand out despite his short appearance. In addition to his role in the classic series, J.J. Cohen also starred in iconic 80s films such as Fire with Fire and The Principal, gradually building his own position during the golden age of popular cinema. Although he has not been active on the big screen since then, Cohen has maintained a deep connection with his fan base, especially through reunion events and film festivals, where he is always welcomed as an important part of the nostalgia era of cinema. His role is not only a unique piece in the time travel story, but also represents the youthful and fierce rebellious spirit of school age, an image that fans still remember over the years. Casey Siemaszko delivered a memorable performance as a violent bully who helped heighten the chaos and drama of the school scenes in Back to the Future. When he took on the role in 1985 at the age of 24, he convincingly portrayed the rebel, sharp, reckless, and full of energy, without overshadowing his supporting character. Throughout his career, Casey Siemaszko has demonstrated his versatility, from gritty villains to sympathetic characters in such notable works as Stand By Me, Young Guns, and Of Mice and Men. He is the type of actor who rarely takes center stage, but always plays a key role in adding depth and authenticity to a film. Now 63, Siemaszko continues his artistic journey quietly, with voiceover work, television work, and smaller projects, though he is no longer in front of the camera as often. However, his role in Back to the Future remains an indispensable part of audiences' memories. A supporting character, but one that brought a lot of color and contributed significantly to the enduring appeal of this classic film. Billy Zane appeared in Back to the Future as a cool and confident member of the villain group, bringing a coolness and a unique style that helped the young cast become more diverse. When taking on the role in 1985 at the age of 19, Zane made a strong impression with his outstanding charisma, even with just a few scenes, a potential start for his future artistic journey. His career quickly grew, especially with the classic villain role of Cal Hockley in Titanic, 1997, bringing Billy Zane's name closer to global audiences. From scary characters to charming comedic roles, Zane has proven his versatility and depth in acting across many different genres. Now at the age of 59, Billy Zane is still tirelessly devoted to art, participating in both independent films and major projects, affirming his sustainable performance and relentless creative spirit. Although his first role in Back to the Future was just a small touch, It was an interesting milestone that opened the colorful journey of a talented and constantly innovative artist. Donald Fullilove brought a sense of humor and inspiration to Back to the Future as a confident high school student with a bold dream of becoming mayor. Although he only appeared in one scene, he created an unforgettable moment with his charismatic demeanor and classic lines that foreshadowed a bright future, both witty and inspirational. At the age of 26, when he joined the film in 1985, Donald proved that just one moment at the right time is enough to leave an indelible mark on the audience. Now, at 65, he is still active in the entertainment industry with a steady career spanning film, television, and voice acting. Most notably, his role in Pixar's Up, continuing to bring laughter and warmth to viewers of all ages. Although he often plays supporting roles, Donald Fullilove always makes his characters stand out with his positive energy and natural charm. He is also a familiar face at fan events, where he not only shares memorable moments, but also shows deep appreciation for the role that helped shape his career. Lisa Freeman brought a youthful and vibrant atmosphere to the school atmosphere in Back to the Future, transforming into a lively and expressive schoolgirl. At the age of 19, when she took on the role, she conveyed charm, humor, and authenticity, helping the character, although small, still leave a friendly and lovable impression on the audience. After her initial success, Lisa continued her acting career with memorable supporting roles in famous films and TV series such as Back to School, Mr. Mom, The Wonder Years, and Baywatch. With her sophisticated acting and charming expressive style, she was often given roles that were a bit eccentric but always close and genuine, a unique trait that made her stand out among the supporting cast. Not stopping at performing arts, Lisa Freeman later turned to the path of writing and education. She became a young adult novelist and inspired a new generation of writers through her teaching of creative writing. Although her role in Back to the Future did not last long, she remains an important part of Hill Valley's youth, a small but indispensable part of many generations' cinematic memories. Frances Lee McCain brought the role of the gentle mother to life in Back to the Future, providing the film with a warm and solid emotional anchor. When she took on the role in 1985 at the age of 41, she portrayed a mother who was thoughtful, understanding, and loving, a character who was unpretentious but left a lasting impression on audiences. McCain was a familiar face on the 1980s screen, with memorable roles in such hits as Footloose, Gremlins, and Stand By Me. With a solid academic background, including a master's degree in drama and extensive stage experience, she always approached her roles with rare subtlety, depth, and dedication. Though she rarely appeared in public afterward, Frances Lee McCain is remembered as one of the women who provided a gentle balance between the dramatic twists and turns of the time travel journey. Her role was not only a highlight of the film, but also a symbol of gentleness and endurance qualities that transcend time. Harry Waters Jr. brought a vibrant and passionate atmosphere to his performance as an energetic performer on stage in Back to the Future, contributing to one of the most iconic musical moments of the entire film. Taking on the role at the age of 32, he not only conveyed his intense passion for the arts through every look and gesture, but also made the audience feel like they were living in the rhythm of the times. Now 71 years old, Harry Waters Jr. continues to dedicate himself to the arts, both as a performer, stage director, and dedicated educator. He holds the role of theater professor at many universities, where he inspires and imparts valuable experience to the younger generation of artists, helping them nurture their passion and build sustainable careers. Although his screen time in the film was not long, his role created an incredible influence, becoming an indispensable part of the popular culture treasure. With his talent, dedication, and mentorship, Harry Waters Jr. remains a beloved icon of art and education. Thanks for following along as we take a behind-the-scenes look at the lives of the actors from Back to the Future who contributed to one of the most beloved films of the 80s. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your favorite moments in the comments below. See you on the next trip, and keep the spirit of Hill Valley alive in your hearts. The Care for Appearance brought countless laughs in the 1990s, especially through the humorous and charming image of Hyacinth Bucket, a woman who always wanted to rise up to the upper class. But behind the laughter on the screen are emotional, real-life stories. Some actors who were once loved by the audience have quietly left the stage, leaving an unfillable void in the hearts of fans. Today, let's look back at the memorable journeys of these talented faces, people who not only brought laughter to millions of viewers, but also contributed to creating an irreplaceable legacy in the history of British television. It is a tribute to their lasting contributions, and a way for us to continue to keep them alive in the memories and affections of the public. Clive Walter Swift, born February 9, 1936 in Liverpool, England, is a classically trained actor who has proven his talent on prestigious stages such as the Royal Shakespeare Company. However, to global audiences, Clive is best remembered for his role as Richard Bucket, the calm, patient husband of his show-loving wife Hyacinth, in the hit comedy series Keeping Up Appearances. This role came to him in 1990, when he was 54 years old, and quickly became an indispensable part of the memories of many generations of British television lovers. Behind the image of the gentleman on screen was an artist who experienced many changes in his personal life. His long marriage to novelist Margaret Drabble, a relationship that seemed to be stable thanks to intellectual harmony, ended in 1975 after they had 3 children together. The pain was compounded by the sudden death of his daughter Rebecca in April 2017, a loss that Clive never spoke about publicly, but which, according to those close to him, he never really got over. Throughout his career, Clive also faced the feeling of being confined to a single image. Although the role of Richard Bucket brought laughter and affection, he repeatedly expressed his fatigue with being pigeonholed. His candor, especially in a notable 2007 interview with Doctor Who magazine, partly reflected the mentality of an artist who craved variety in his roles and more deserving recognition. Later, Clive gradually withdrew from the big stage, choosing a quiet lifestyle, only occasionally appearing in small performances that he wrote himself. With a modest fortune of around $1 million, not too big compared to the influence. Clive Swift left a legacy of seriousness, dedication, and integrity in his profession. He passed away peacefully on February 1st, 2019, just a week before his 83rd birthday. His gentle, unpretentious departure was also the final farewell from a deep and sincere person who contributed to writing a memorable chapter in the history of British television. Josephine Ann Tewson, born the 26th of February 1931 in London, is one of the most familiar and beloved faces of British television. With her graceful, subtle, and emotional acting, she left a special mark through a series of roles, most notably the role of Elizabeth Warden, the shy neighbor who often broke teacups during tense visits to Hyacinth Bucket's house in Keeping Up Appearances. From 1990 to 1995, this supporting role not only brought laughter, but also deeply portrayed the psychology of the British middle class, with its silent worries and desire to save face in everyday life. Behind the image of a humorous woman on screen is a life full of loss. Josephine's first marriage to actor Leonard Rossiter lasted just 3 years, an experience that led her to openly describe him as a great actor, but a terrible husband. She later found solace in her second husband, Dr. Henry Newman, until his sudden death in 1980. Since then, Josephine has lived alone, with no children or close family. For her, the stage was more than just a place to perform. It was also a place to confide in and find warmth from the audience. Even in her twilight years, she continued to bring her art to the public through stage monologues, with her final tour taking place in 2019, when she was nearly 90. While she did not pursue a glamorous life or become a millionaire star, Josephine has still amassed an estimated fortune of $2 million, a testament to more than 6 decades of dedicated work. Josephine Tewson breathed her last on August 18, 2022 at Denville Hall, a resting place for older artists. She was 91 years old. According to confirmed information, she passed away peacefully after a period of living with Alzheimer's disease. Although she quietly withdrew from the spotlight, her departure still left a big void in the hearts of her fans, those who always cherished the image of a gentle, resilient, and sincere artist who devoted her life to bringing laughter and emotions to the public. Geoffrey William Hughes, born February 2, 1944 in Wallasey, England, is one of the most memorable faces on the British small screen. At the age of 46, he made a deep impression with the role of Onslow in the hit comedy series Keeping Up Appearances, 1990-1995, the sloppy, beer-loving brother-in-law who loved to wear tank tops and drive an old, broken-down car. With his cackling voice and carefree demeanor, the character Onslow became a contrast to the formality of Hyacinth, creating a series of humorous situations that made the audience laugh uncontrollably. Before that, Geoffrey was also famous for his role as Eddie Yates in Coronation Street, a role that brought him to the pinnacle of fame. However, fame sometimes comes at a high price. Being assigned comedy roles often made him feel boxed in, causing him to fall into psychological crisis many times. In his personal life, his marriage to Susan Mundell also experienced many ups and downs, contributing to the pressure behind the spotlight. In 1996, Geoffrey was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Although he kept his health condition secret and tried to maintain his work, the disease progressed silently. After the disease relapsed in 2010, he decided to withdraw from the art world to focus on treatment and live a quieter life. Geoffrey Hughes breathed his last breath in his sleep on July 27, 2012, at the age of 68. His passing left many regrets in the hearts of colleagues and fans. To the audience, he was always a symbol of rustic, genuine, and close humor. And to those who worked with him, Geoffrey was a sincere, energetic man who always brought laughter, not only on screen, but also in real life. Mary Miller, born Irene Mary Wetton, was born on July 26, 1936, in Doncaster, England. With her elegant beauty, graceful acting style, and lyrical voice trained from a young age, she is an artist with a special presence on both the musical stage and the television screen. In 1991, at the age of 55, Mary made a strong impression when she took on the role of Rose, the sensitive younger sister, passionately in love and always causing headaches for her older sister Hyacinth because of her complicated love affairs and keeping up appearances. Her character quickly became an indispensable humorous highlight in this hit film. Growing up in an artistic family with parents who were classical singers, Mary soon had a knack for the stage. She has shown in many famous musicals such as The Phantom of the Opera and Beauty and the Beast, where her voice and charisma conquered even the most difficult audiences. Despite her stage presence, Mary's private life was very private. She married photographer Raphael Frame and had a daughter, Lucy, born in 1972. Her family was the piece she always cherished in her turbulent artistic life. In January 1998, Mary was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Despite her failing health, she tried to continue performing and remained optimistic until the end of her life. On the 10th of November, 1998, Mary Miller passed away peacefully at her home in Brockley, London, age 62, surrounded by her loving family. Before leaving the stage forever, she once said, "If I ever stand before the gates of heaven, I will ask to sing a part in the choir of angels." That statement was not only a gentle farewell, but also a testament to Mary Millar's endless love for art, a love that touched the hearts of millions of audiences and will forever echo in the memories of fans. Arthur Nigel Davenport, born on the 23rd of May, 1928 in Cambridge, England, is the epitome of the British gentleman, intelligent, courteous, and full of character. Coming from a family with a military tradition, Nigel studied at Trinity College, Oxford, and served as a DJ in the British Army. However, it was the spotlight and the silver screen that truly made him his. In 1993, despite only appearing briefly in an episode of Keeping Up Appearances as a suave naval officer, Nigel Davenport still managed to leave a strong impression. With his calm demeanor, resonant voice, and aristocratic temperament, he brought a sophisticated charm to the character, a testament to the class of a veteran actor. Throughout his career, he appeared in many classic films such as Chariots of Fire, A Man for All Seasons, A Christmas Carol, and was invited to voice the character HAL 9000 in 2001, A Space Odyssey. However, this voice role was later replaced because director Stanley Kubrick thought his British accent was too formal. Although he was rejected, this event did not overshadow Nigel's talent, but showed that he was a perfectionist, dedicated and put his heart into each role. His personal life was also colorful. After an unsuccessful first marriage, he remarried actress Maria Aitken. They had a son, Jack Davenport, who later became famous for playing James Norrington in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, continuing his father's artistic legacy. In addition to acting, Nigel was also a strong voice for the arts as chairman of Equity, the British Actors Union, where he fought tirelessly for rights and fairness in the arts industry. Nigel Davenport passed away on October 25, 2013, at the age of 85. He passed away quietly, without a lavish funeral, in keeping with the simple lifestyle he chose. However, his image, from his luxurious aristocratic roles to his majestic on-screen characters, will live on in the hearts of fans as a silent monument to British cinema. Helen Christie was born on October 22, 1914, in British India, the beginning of a quiet but profound artistic journey. Although not a star at the top of the gold chart, she was a rare type of actress, appearing in small roles but always leaving a big impression. At the age of 75, she appeared in Keeping Up Appearances, playing the stern registrar in the episode Problems with Relatives, the hostess of a chaotic wedding of Hyacinth's father. With her mature demeanor, she quickly won the hearts of the audience in just a few short minutes of appearance. Helen's career spanned decades, spanning both film and television. She participated in notable films such as The Queen of Spades, 1949, The Beggar's Opera, 1953, and many classic series such as Melissa, Middlemarch, or Cranford. Although often playing supporting roles, Helen always brought dignity, care, and depth to each character, something that many co-stars and directors recognized and respected. Her private life was also marked by dedication and seclusion. Helen went through 3 marriages, all to co-stars in the art world: Patrick Crane, Mark Dignam, and John Barron. Only the last marriage lasted. Having no children, Helen Christie chose to devote her life to art and lived a quiet life, away from the noisy halo. She passed away on the 17th of August, 1995, at the age of 80. Without a splash in the press, without a lavish funeral, but the legacy that Helen left, the quiet respect of audiences and colleagues, remains firmly in the history of British television and cinema. Helen Christie is a testament to the enduring beauty of dedication and dignity in art. George Augustus Webb, born in 1912 in London, was a face that brought special laughter to the audience throughout the 5 seasons of Keeping Up Appearances. At the age of 79, he transformed into Daddy, the lovable but troubled father of Hyacinth Bucket, with unpredictable pranks, getting married on the run, escaping from a nursing home, or calmly driving a motorbike in a state of nakedness. Every time he appeared, he made the audience laugh, and the character Daddy became an unexpected symbol of humor in a film that revolved around standards and perfectionism. Before becoming famous with this role, George Webb had a long career, often appearing as elderly gentlemen in series such as Doctor Who, The Avengers, and many other television works. He did not pursue the limelight, but became a familiar name to British audiences thanks to his charm and naturalness in acting. However, behind the smile were emotional wounds that he rarely shared. His younger brother died in a tragic accident, and his sister, after a long battle with illness, chose to end her life. Those losses left a deep mark on his soul, making him a quiet, introspective, and profound person, more than what people saw on screen. George Webb breathed his last on December 30th, 1998, at the age of 86. He passed away quietly without any fuss, just like the way he lived, simple, discreet, but meaningful. His legacy does not lie in ostentation, but in the sincerity in each role and the affection that the audience had for him. A quiet but unforgettable artist. Born in 1929 in Tranmere, England, Dame Patricia Routledge is an irreplaceable figure in the hearts of British television audiences. She became a legend when she played Hyacinth Bucket in the classic comedy series Keeping Up Appearances, 1990-1995. A lady who always wanted to climb the social ladder, pronounced her name Bouquet, and was determined to keep her appearance perfect in all situations. With her sharp voice, subtle expressions, and ability to balance humor with emotional depth, Patricia Routledge made Hyacinth a cultural icon, both laughable and pitiful. Behind the spotlight, Patricia was a quiet but courageous artist. She devoted her whole life to her art, never married, had no children, and did not pursue the limelight. She has shared 2 deep love affairs, one with a married man and one with a theater director, both of which did not end happily, but left her with emotional memories. As a talented stage actress, Patricia Routledge has won the prestigious Tony Award on Broadway, the Olivier Award in the UK, and was appointed Dame, DBE, in 2017 for her great contributions to the performing arts and charity. She also refused to continue keeping up appearances when she felt the content was no longer fresh, a decision that clearly demonstrated her integrity and respect for her audience. As of 2025, Dame Patricia Routledge is 96 years old, living peacefully in Chichester. Although she no longer appears in public much, she still retains her inherent charm, intelligence, and elegance, just like the roles that have left an impression on millions of audiences. She was not just an artist, but a symbol of dedication, dignity, and timeless talent. Judy Valerie Cornwell, born on February 22, 1940 in England, is one of the most unforgettable faces on the small screen in the foggy country. At the age of 50, she conquered global audiences with her role as Daisy, the simple, messy, but affectionate younger sister in the hit comedy series Keeping Up Appearances, 1990-1995. With her dreamy eyes, her teacup always in her hand, and her endless romantic dreams, Daisy became the perfect contrast to her perfectionist and haughty sister Hyacinth, bringing moments that were both warm and humorous that viewers could not take their eyes off. Few people know that, before becoming famous on screen, Judy had a tumultuous childhood. She survived fierce air raids during World War II and moved with her family to Australia to avoid the bombs. Returning to England, she began her career not in film but on the vaudeville stage, performing as an interlude in comedy acts, before moving on to dance, and then gradually conquering the demanding Shakespearean stage. Not only stopping at the performing field, Judy Cornwell is also a talented writer. She has published many works, including the memoir Adventures of a Jelly Baby, telling about her challenging but also resilient childhood, and popular detective novels in the period 1985-1996. In her personal life, Judy has a happy home with her husband, journalist John Kelsall Perry, and a son. The whole family currently lives in Brighton, where she enjoys a peaceful life away from the spotlight. As of 2025, at the age of 85, Judy Cornwell is still healthy, happy, and occasionally appears at special events. Among them, the reunion of the cast on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of Keeping Up Appearances in 2023 has left fans extremely emotional. With her diverse talents, kind heart, and optimistic spirit, Judy Cornwell will always be a beloved icon of British television, not only as Daisy, but also as herself, an artist who devoted her life to art and life. David Griffin, born in 1943, is a familiar face to British comedy lovers thanks to his role as Emmett Hawksworth, Elizabeth's gentle brother in Keeping Up Appearances. Joining the cast in 1991 at the age of 46, David brought a quiet charm to the character Emmett, with a bored but humorous expression every time Hyacinth forced him to sing duets or participate in uninvited performances. The combination of politeness and the ability to endure gracefully helped Emmett become one of the most beloved supporting characters in the series. Before entering the common house of Keeping Up Appearances, David Griffin had a rich artistic journey. He has appeared in many notable films and television shows such as A French Mistress, 1960, Battle of Britain, 1969, Doctor Who, Z-Cars, and the popular comedy series Allo Allo, demonstrating his versatility and longevity in the acting profession. In addition, he is also a veteran stage artist, regularly appearing in children's plays and silent comedies, especially classics such as Jack and the Beanstalk, bringing laughter and joy to many generations of audiences. After retiring from the screen, David Griffin still spends time reminiscing about his memorable time with the cast in the documentary program Comedy Connections, where he shares with affection and gratitude the valuable memories of working with a talented and team-oriented team. As of 2025, David Griffin is 81 years old. Although he has not appeared in public, he is said to be healthy, living peacefully with his family in a peaceful countryside, a gentle end to a worthy career. With talent, calmness, and rare charm, David Griffin has left a deep mark not only in the hearts of audiences, but also in the history of British comedy television. Marion Barron, born the 28th of March 1958 in Nigeria and raised in Dumfries, Scotland, is one of the most unassuming yet charming faces on the British screen. At the age of 32, she made her mark on audiences with her role as the gentle and kind wife of the vice-vicar in Keeping Up Appearances, 1990-1995. Although only a supporting role, Marion's character provided a necessary calm amid the comic chaos caused by Hyacinth, a subtle touch that helped to balance the film's rhythm. Before coming to this famous comedy series, Marion participated in many television productions such as Don't Wait Up, 1983, and Screen 2, 1985, demonstrating the versatility of her acting. She has since continued to appear in series such as The Bill and most recently We Hunt Together, 2020, demonstrating her tenacity and unwavering passion for the profession over 3 decades. In addition to television, she is also active on stage, where emotional depth and true character are required. Marion Barron's life off-screen is completely opposite to the spotlight. She has been married to producer Simon Fuller since 1982, a relationship that has lasted for decades, a rarity in the entertainment industry. They have 2 children and choose a private, gentle life outside the whirlwind of fame. It is this privacy that makes Marion even more attractive, an artist who dedicates herself quietly, without ostentation, but is always serious about each role. As of 2025, Marion Barron is 67 years old. Although she no longer appears on screen regularly, she still occasionally accepts small roles as a way to keep the passion for art still burning in her heart. With her calmness, elegance, and professionalism, Marion Barron is worthy of being a model of a dedicated artist, quietly but persistently leaving an impression on the hearts of viewers for many generations. The cast of Keeping Up Appearances helped create one of the most iconic sitcoms on British television. While their roles may have been small, each one delivered memorable moments that viewers will never forget after all these years. Who was your favorite character? What memories from the show still make you laugh or feel emotional? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to follow us for more inspiring stories about TV legends. In the heart of Boston, A small pub called Cheers is not only a place where everyone knows each other's names, but also the birthplace of one of the greatest sitcoms in American television history. With its hearty laughs, close friendships, and humane everyday stories, Cheers has become an indelible part of the memories of millions of viewers throughout the 1980s and 1990s. However, behind the bright spotlight are quiet, emotional, real-life stories about the faces who once brought life to this iconic pub, but have now left us forever. In today's video, join us in reminiscing and paying tribute to the beloved cast members of Cheers who have passed away, the people who left an irreplaceable mark on fans and in popular culture. Harry Anderson, full name Harry Laverne Anderson, born October 14, 1952 in Newport, Rhode Island, is a special face in the hearts of American television audiences. With the role of Harry the Hat, a charming and sharp con man in Cheers, he left an indelible mark despite only appearing a few times. At the age of 30 when joining the show in 1982, Anderson immediately made the audience love him thanks to the perfect combination of humor, intelligence, and performance style imbued with magic. Before the stage lights, Anderson's life was a unique journey full of experiences. Since he was a teenager, he traveled across the United States, performing street magic, a foundation that helped him build a distinct artistic personality when entering the world of television. In his personal life, he was married for 22 years to Leslie Pollock, had 2 children, and later found happiness with Elizabeth Morgan, his second wife, with whom he ran a magic and curio shop in New Orleans. Despite his cheerful and optimistic appearance, Anderson shared his quiet battle with depression behind the spotlight. After retiring from the spotlight, he sought a simple life in Asheville, North Carolina, where he lived quietly with his wife and his old passions. But then in early 2018, his health seriously declined after a severe flu, leading to several strokes. On April 16, 2018, he passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 65. Harry Anderson's net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $1.5 million, but his legacy goes far beyond the numbers. It is an inspiration to millions of viewers about the wonder of imagination, the belief that humor, talent, and a little magic can make life more magical. Anderson was more than just an artist. He was a living example of turning passion into legacy. Ted Danson, born December 29, 1947 in San Diego, California, became one of the most memorable faces on American television when he played Sam Malone on Cheers in 1982. He was only 35 years old at the time, and Sam Malone's charm and humor transformed Ted from an unknown actor into a cultural icon. His character, a former baseball player turned bar owner, made a lasting impression on audiences and lasted for 11 seasons. Despite his on-screen success, Ted Danson's real life was not always smooth sailing. In 1993, at the height of his fame, he became the center of a major scandal when he appeared in blackface at a party honoring his then-girlfriend, Whoopi Goldberg. Although Goldberg defended him, the backlash from the public severely damaged his image. Additionally, his high-profile relationship with Goldberg also indirectly led to one of Hollywood's most expensive divorces. Ted Danson paid an estimated $30 million to settle his divorce from his second wife, Casey Coates, a producer who suffered a serious health crisis shortly after the birth of their first child, requiring intensive care for several years. However, Ted Danson did not let his personal troubles slow him down. In 1995, he married actress Mary Steenburgen, his co-star in Pontiac Moon, and their marriage has remained strong to this day. The two have been prominent in political activism, environmentalism, and ocean conservation efforts. As of 2025, at age 78, Ted Danson is still active in the entertainment industry. He recently starred in Netflix's A Man on the Inside and launched a podcast with Woody Harrelson called Where Everybody Knows Your Name. With an estimated net worth of $80 million, Ted owns real estate in Los Angeles and maintains a steady portfolio thanks to his years of experience in film, commercials, and voiceovers. Ted Danson is not only an icon on screen, but also someone who has persevered through challenges in his personal life. His career ups and downs have shown his resilience and ability to reinvent himself in impressive ways. Keene Holbrook Curtis, born February 15, 1923 in Salt Lake City, Utah, made an indelible mark in Cheers as John Allen Hill, a stern but charming restaurant manager with a distinctive voice and unmistakable demeanor. Despite only appearing in the role at the age of 67, Curtis captivated audiences with his subtlety of expression and ability to breathe life into a seemingly minor character, but creating layers of humor and drama for the story. Outside the spotlight, Curtis lived a quiet, private, and solitary life. Never married and childless, he devoted his life to the arts, from Broadway to film and voice acting. His career spanned decades and was recognized with a prestigious Tony Award, a testament to his enduring talent and dedication to his craft. However, Curtis's final years were haunting. He suffered from Alzheimer's disease, a cruel disease that gradually erased his memories, emotions, and language, the tools that had accompanied him all his life. During his final days in a care facility in Bountiful, Utah, he gradually lost the ability to recognize the roles that had made him famous, as well as the friends and colleagues he had known. On October 13, 2002, Keene Curtis died at the age of 79 from complications from this terrible disease. At the time, his net worth was estimated at $2 million, including real estate in Los Angeles and long-term investments. A portion of it was donated to Alzheimer's research organizations, a humane farewell from an artist who was no longer conscious, but continued to spread kindness. Keene Curtis's legacy lies not in his flashy fame, but in the depth of each role he took on, especially the image of John Allen Hill in Cheers and his quiet but powerful steps on the Broadway stage. It is a testament to an enduring talent and a heart that loved the arts until his last breath. Kelsey Grammer, born February 21, 1955 in the U.S. Virgin Islands, is one of the greatest television icons of all time. He made his mark as Dr. Fraser Crane, a character he played for more than 2 decades on 3 series: Cheers, 1984-1993, Frasier, 1993-2004, and its reboot, Frasier, 2023-2024. The role not only earned him 6 Emmy Awards, but also built a television legacy that is beloved around the world. But behind the scenes, Grammer's life was a series of heartbreaking tragedies. When he was just 12 years old, his grandfather died of cancer, marking the beginning of a series of losses. In 1968, his father was murdered in a brutal attack. In 1975, his older sister Karen was kidnapped, raped, and murdered at the age of 18. Grammer was the one who had to identify her body, a memory that haunted him for the rest of his life. Not stopping there, in 1980, his 2 half-brothers were killed in a scuba diving accident. Those deep mental traumas led Grammer to years of depression, alcoholism, and drug addiction. He was arrested several times for drug-related behavior and drunk driving. At times, his co-stars in Cheers and Frasier had to intervene to help him overcome. The peak was in 2008, when Grammer nearly lost his life due to a serious heart attack while on vacation in Hawaii. His personal life was also turbulent. With 4 marriages, 7 children, and high-profile divorces, including a costly one with Playboy model Camille Donatacci, Grammer has faced constant pressure from the public. Yet he has remained steadfast and continued to create art. As of 2025, at the age of 70, Kelsey Grammer has not stopped. He continues to transform into Frasier in the revival, appears in the blockbuster The Marvels, and is preparing to reunite with audiences in Avengers Doomsday, 2026. With an estimated net worth of over $80 million, Grammer is not only a television icon, but also a symbol of resilience, a living testament to the ability to overcome darkness to continue shining. J. Thomas, born John Thomas Terrell on July 12, 1948, in Kermit, Texas, was a familiar face on American television in the 1980s and 1990s. With his witty, charming style and ability to make an impression in just a few scenes, he made a strong impression as Eddie LeBec, the eccentric hockey goalie and colorful husband of Carla on Cheers. Although he only appeared in the 1987-1989 period, his character became an indispensable part of fans' memories thanks to his charming humor and unique personality. Behind the TV spotlight was a life full of twists and turns. J. Thomas once fathered an illegitimate son musician, J.T. Harding, and it was only later that father and son reunited in an emotional television moment. His family life has also been challenging, although he has been married to Sally Michelson since 1987 and has 2 sons. In the harsh showbiz environment, J. Thomas always tried to balance his role as an artist and a husband and father. However, the biggest turning point in his career came from the role that was associated with his name in Cheers. After an inappropriate statement on his radio show regarding his co-star Rhea Perlman, J. Thomas was abruptly removed from the series. The character Eddie LeBec disappeared from the screen, leaving many regrets and questions in the hearts of fans. In the last years of his life, Jay quietly fought throat cancer. However, he did not leave his work, continuing to host his own radio show on Sirius XM and pursuing unfinished projects. On August 24th, 2017, J. Thomas passed away in Santa Barbara, California, at the age of 69, surrounded by his family. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $3 million, not only a testament to his artistic achievements, but also a reflection of his hard work and dedication to his craft. Despite his passing, his legacy lives on, through his comedic roles, his enduring television memories, and the success of his son, J.T. Harding, a talented musician who continues his father's creative spirit. Woody Harrelson, born July 23, 1961, made an indelible mark as Woody Boyd, the gentle and naive bartender on the hit NBC comedy series Cheers. When he took on the role in 1985 at the age of 24, Harrelson quickly won the hearts of audiences with his natural charm and down-to-earth humor. He stuck with the character for 8 seasons, from 1985 to 1993, and became one of the indispensable faces in the television memories of the 80s and 90s. But behind the bright smile on the screen was a haunting childhood. Woody's father, Charles Harrelson, was a professional assassin who was sentenced to life in prison for assassinating federal judge John H. Wood, Jr. in 1979. Woody grew up with his mother in precarious financial circumstances and with little to no presence from his father. Charles Harrelson died in a maximum security prison in 2007, leaving a deep wound in the actor's heart. Woody's early career was also tumultuous. He was rebellious, involved in drugs, was arrested for growing cannabis, and had many problems with the media and police. Notable incidents include a chase in England after a fight with a taxi driver in 2002, or a lawsuit after a confrontation with a paparazzi in 2006. His life was a mix of fame, chaos, and the fragile limits of control. However, Woody Harrelson did what few people can do: surpass himself. He gave up drugs, pursued a vegan lifestyle, lived a simple and private life in Hawaii, and became an active environmental activist. He climbed the Golden Gate Bridge to protest deforestation, used a bus that ran on hemp fuel, and in 2022 opened a legal marijuana shop called Woods WeHo as a symbol of his brave transformation. In his personal life, after a fake wedding in Tijuana in 1985, Woody found his true home with Laura Louie, his former assistant and mother of 3 lovely daughters. They married in 2008 and maintained a peaceful family life, separate from the flashy lights of Hollywood. In 2023, a surprising revelation caused a stir in the public. Matthew McConaughey, Woody's close friend, shared the possibility that they could be brothers after his mother revealed her past relationship with Woody's father. At 64, Woody Harrelson continues to create endlessly, whether acting, producing, or contributing to social activities. With an estimated net worth of $70 million, he is not only a successful actor but also a living testament to resilience, rebirth, and the power to overcome life's deepest wounds. Max Wright, born August 2, 1943, in Detroit, Michigan, was once a familiar face on American television, especially with the role of Jim Fleiner in Cheers in 1986. Although he only appeared for a short time, he still left a strong impression with his rustic and genuine acting. However, behind the stage lights was a life that was not easy, filled with sadness and inner turmoil. Wright once frankly shared that the filming experience was not pleasant for him. He compared himself to a supporting character for a soulless puppet, caught up in the cold and inhuman cycle of the entertainment industry. Those pressures made him distant from his colleagues and increasingly immersed in a feeling of isolation. When the work ended, he left the set without saying goodbye, an action that clearly reflected the fatigue and disappointment he silently endured. Max Wright's personal life was not smooth either. He struggled with substance abuse, which stalled his stage career and disrupted his family life. His wife, Linda, his partner since 1965, was not spared from the grief. After years of battling breast cancer, she died in 2017, leaving Wright with a huge void that could never be filled. Despite having survived lymphoma in 1995, fate did not spare him. In 2019, the cancer returned, and after a long battle, Max Wright passed away on June 26th of that year at the Lillian Booth Actors Home in New Jersey at the age of 75. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $1 million, including his home in Hermosa Beach, California, all of which he left to his two children, who witnessed the silence of a father who once stood at the top, but also struggled with the darkness in his soul. Despite his turbulent life, Max Wright will always be remembered as a dedicated actor who brought audiences genuine moments on screen, and was an indispensable part of the memories of a golden age of American television. Kirstie Alley, the woman who captivated the entire U.S. with her role as Rebecca Howe on the hit sitcom Cheers, was one of the brightest stars of the 80s and 90s. Born on January 12, 1951 in Wichita, Kansas, Kirstie not only won over audiences with her charm and strong personality, but also left a deep impression when she won both an Emmy and a Golden Globe in 1991, right at the peak of her career. However, behind the halo of the screen is a tumultuous personal journey. Kirstie once shared about the difficult period when she was addicted, before she determined to change her life after joining a religious organization. Despite her efforts to overcome it, her attachment to this organization sometimes made her image controversial in the public. Throughout her career, she was also the only Cheers regular to not join the spin-off Frasier due to disagreements with some of the content. Kirstie's personal life has had its ups and downs. 2 marriages, one in her youth and one lasting nearly 15 years to actor Parker Stevenson, both ended, leaving behind 2 adopted children whom she loved dearly. She suffered the loss of a miscarriage, but also found joy when she became a grandmother in 2016. In addition to acting, Kirstie is a familiar face on reality TV, with notable appearances on Dancing with the Stars, Celebrity Big Brother, and The Masked Singer. Despite her constant smile on camera, she has endured many quiet battles, from pressure over her appearance to her health. Losing more than 40 kilograms to become an ambassador for a diet brand once made her an icon, but later also caused a lot of controversy. In 2022, after keeping her health condition a secret, Kirstie Alley was diagnosed with terminal colon cancer. She passed away quickly on December 5, 2022, at the age of 71. Her fortune at the time was estimated at $40 million, including many valuable real estate properties. Her children held a private memorial service, closing the final chapter of a colorful life, both glamorous and profound. George Robert Wendt, Jr., born October 17, 1948, is widely known for his role as Norm Peterson on Cheers, a beloved character for generations of viewers. The role earned Wendt 6 consecutive Emmy nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor, making him a familiar face on American television from 1982 to 1993. Wendt's career began modestly at Second City in Chicago, where he started as a stage sweeper. It was there that he met Bernadette Burkett, who would later become his wife and also provide the voice of Vera, Norm's never-seen wife on Cheers. At Second City, Wendt not only found his passion for the arts, but also overcame his academic difficulties, which gave him the opportunity to develop in the entertainment industry. Despite his comedic persona and fan-favorite status, Wendt's real life wasn't always easy. In the 1990s, he struggled with alcoholism, a problem he openly acknowledged. "I used Norm's smile to hide my own loneliness," Wendt said in a 2006 interview. The years of alcoholism took a toll on Wendt's physical and emotional health, leading him to multiple stints in rehab. In his later years, Wendt lived a quiet life with his wife and 3 children, taking on a few small television projects and making occasional appearances on shows like The Masked Singer in 2023, marking a gentle and humorous farewell to his fans. However, his health continued to decline, and on May 20th, 2025, George Wendt passed away in his sleep at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 76. His passing left a huge void in the hearts of his fans and colleagues. They remembered Wendt not only for his comedic talent, but also for his warm heart and friendly personality. His Cheers co-star Ted Danson said that Wendt had the warmest heart behind the bar, someone everyone loved. George Wendt will always be remembered as one of the icons of American television, and his legacy as Norm Peterson will live on in the hearts of audiences. Roger Rees, who played Robin Colcord, a shrewd British businessman in the series Cheers, left a strong impression despite only appearing in a supporting role. Born on May 5, 1944 in Aberystwyth, Wales, he brought the character Colcord charm and cold intelligence, creating a unique color for the film since 1989 when he joined at the age of 45. Few people know that Roger Rees's artistic path began in a surprising way. Coming from a working-class family, he worked as a background painter before being given a small role. And that moment opened up a passionate artistic journey. Throughout his career, he always tried to balance his artistic ideals and his everyday responsibilities until a health incident occurred in late 2014. He was diagnosed with brain cancer. Despite surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, Roger Rees persevered on Broadway in The Visit until he lost his voice in May 2015. Rather than withdraw, he continued to contribute in every way possible, demonstrating his indomitable spirit and deep love for the stage. In his personal life, he and his partner Rick Illis were together for more than 3 decades before they were able to marry in 2011. Unfortunately, their remaining precious time was limited by the harsh illness. Roger Rees passed away on July 10, 2015 in New York at the age of 71. In his memory, Broadway dimmed its lights for 1 minute, a gesture honoring the artist who lived and dedicated his life to the arts. His estate is estimated at $5 million, but what is more valuable is his legacy of perseverance, true artistic spirit, and unfulfilled dreams. Frances Sternhagen, whose full name is Frances Hussey Sternhagen, was born on January 13, 1930 in Washington, D.C., and is one of the most iconic faces in the history of Cheers. As Esther Clavin, Cliff's strict and conservative mother, she delivered a sharp performance, imbued with humor and personality. Although she only appeared in a few episodes, Sternhagen left a deep impression thanks to her unique character portrayal, which helped her receive 2 prestigious Emmy nominations for this role. With her natural and subtle acting, she made the character of Esther an indispensable part of the colorful picture of the Cheers bar. Behind the spotlight is a quiet and emotional life. She was married for 35 years to actor Thomas A. Carlin, a relationship that lasted until his death in 1991. Since then, Sternhagen has lived alone in her familiar home in New Rochelle, New York, never remarried, and has spent most of her time with her children and grandchildren. Despite having a warm family, the loss of her partner left her with a deep void, a loneliness that only those who have experienced it can understand. On November 27, 2023, Frances Sternhagen passed away at the age of 93, ending an admirable artistic journey that lasted more than half a century. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at around $1 million, a modest figure compared to the spiritual value she left behind. Frances Sternhagen's greatest legacy lies not in material things, but in the hearts of her fans, where the image of her mother, Esther Klavan, is always present as a symbol of intelligence, strength, and true art. Markie Post, whose real name is Marjorie Armstrong Post, was born on November 4, 1950 in Palo Alto, California, and is one of the brightest faces on the television screen. In 1983, at the age of 33, she made a strong impression as Heather Landon, a charming friend of Diane Chambers on Cheers. Markie's charm and charisma quickly helped her get bigger roles in films such as Night Court, The Fall Guy, and Hearts of Fire. Her personal life has been relatively peaceful and private. After a brief marriage to Stephen Knox, Markie married Michael A. Ross, an actor and writer. The couple had 2 daughters and lived a fairly quiet life, away from the hustle and bustle of Hollywood. However, her life was disrupted when she was diagnosed with cancer. Instead of giving up, Markie Post continued her acting, voice acting, and fan engagements as if everything was normal. Her resilience and optimism became an inspiration to many, especially her peers. During her battle with the deadly disease, few people realized that she was suffering. Although the disease affected her for many years, Markie never gave up on her joy of life or her career. Markie Post passed away on August 7, 2021, at her home in Los Angeles at the age of 70. Her legacy, estimated at $12 million, includes a home in Los Angeles and many investments, all of which were left to her husband and 2 daughters. Markie Post not only left her mark on the entertainment industry, but also set an example of resilience and optimism that inspires us all no matter what our circumstances. Nicholas Colasanto, who played the lovable Ernie Coach Pantuso on Cheers, not only brought laughter but also left a deep impression with a sincerity and warmth rarely seen on the small screen. Born on January 19, 1924, in Providence, Rhode Island, he was a veteran actor and director, but it was not until he was 58 that he truly stepped into the spotlight with the role of Coach, a late but fateful role. Before coming to Cheers, Colasanto had a difficult period of heavy drinking due to the pressure of his career. In 1976, he bravely entered a support program for alcoholics and has lived sober ever since. However, health problems still haunted him for the rest of his life. Despite losing weight, feeling tired, and being hospitalized frequently for heart complications, he was determined not to give up the character of Coach, the compassionate and somewhat naive teacher that the audience loved. Co-star Ted Danson once recalled that Colasanto often had difficulty remembering his lines in the final episodes, but never lost his optimism and professionalism. He continued filming until mid-season 3, when his doctor ordered him to take a complete rest after the Christmas break in 1984. Sadly, just a few weeks later, on February 12, 1985, Nicholas Colasanto passed away from a heart attack at his home in Los Angeles at the age of 61. His passing shocked the entire cast and millions of viewers across the United States, because Coach was not just a character, but the gentle soul of Cheers. His estate at his death was estimated at $500,000, including a modest home and simple memorabilia. But the true value of his legacy lies not in the number, but in the love and memories that will never fade in the hearts of those who loved Coach. Rhea Perlman, born March 31st, 1948 in Brooklyn, New York, is one of the most recognizable faces on American television. In 1982, at the age of 34, she took on the role of Carla Tortelli, a sharp and sarcastic waitress on Cheers. The role not only took her by storm, but also earned her 4 Emmy Awards, cementing her talent and charm throughout the show's 11 seasons. Carla Tortelli has become an icon, with her strong, funny, and energetic personality, a stark contrast to Perlman's real life. Her real life is less humorous and glamorous than her character. Rhea married actor Danny DeVito in 1982, and the couple has 3 children. They are considered one of Hollywood's golden couples, famous not only for their careers, but also for their enduring love. However, in 2012, after more than 3 decades together, they split for the first time. Although they briefly reconciled, they decided to split again in 2017. This personal upheaval coincided with Rhea Perlman stepping away from regular television roles, moving into theater work, voice acting, and writing children's books. She has described this period as a quiet but transformative one, where she focused on herself and her off-screen career. As of 2025, Rhea Perlman is 77 years old. She lives in Beverly Hills and frequently returns to her home in New Jersey for peace and privacy. Although they are no longer Danny DeVito's partner, they remain close and consider each other family. With an estimated net worth of $60 million, Rhea Perlman has a large fortune from Cheers, numerous other film and television projects, and a real estate holding with DeVito. She is a model of resilience and the ability to overcome life's hardships while maintaining a formidable career in the entertainment industry. Kevin Conroy, born November 30th, 1955, became an indispensable icon in the hearts of fans through the role of Daryl Meade in Cheers in 1989 when he was only 34 years old. Although it was just a brief guest role, it was a stepping stone to bring Conroy closer to the audience before he became the iconic voice of the Dark Knight for 3 decades. However, behind that brilliant career is a life full of silent pain. Conroy grew up in a family with many problems. His alcoholic father attempted suicide when he was in high school, which made him a withdrawn child and had to live with family friends to continue his studies. As an adult, he kept his sexual identity secret for fear of being discriminated against in the entertainment industry. There were roles that were rejected just because he was gay, a wound that burned and hurt. However, Kevin Conroy chose to face that challenge. He came out publicly at a time when Hollywood was still full of homophobia. He wrote the autobiography Finding Batman, which won the prestigious Eisner Award. To voice Batman, Conroy shared that he just had to tap into the deep pain in his heart. He had to fight colon cancer at the end of his life, but he continued his work quietly, attending comic book conventions and recording for Batman and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, despite his failing health. It was his final gift to those who loved him. Kevin Conroy passed away on November 10, 2022 at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, just weeks before his 67th birthday. His net worth is estimated at $2 million, most of which he left to his longtime partner Vaughn C. Williams and a cozy home in New York. Kevin Conroy's legacy is not only his memorable roles, but also his spirit of overcoming adversity, resilience, and courage to be true to himself, inspiring the next generation. John Ratzenberger, born April 6, 1947, in Bridgeport, Connecticut, is best known for his portrayal of the know-it-all mailman Cliff Clavin on Cheers. When he took on the role in 1982 at the age of 35, he created one of the most memorable supporting characters in American television history. Knowledgeable, if sometimes innocuous, funny, and always kind. The role not only earned him 2 Emmy nominations, but also helped create the cultural stereotype of the overconfident quiz boy. In real life, Ratzenberger's life was much simpler and more down-to-earth than his on-screen persona. Before he became famous, he lived in London for more than a decade, working a variety of jobs from construction worker to stage actor. His first marriage to Georgia Steiny lasted 20 years and produced 2 children, but ended in 2004. Surprisingly, despite his public support for traditional family values, the divorce was relatively quiet. In 2012, he remarried to Julie Blichfeldt, and they remain together to this day. While Cheers was his launchpad, Ratzenberger's second big break was as Pixar's Lucky Charm. He voiced a host of memorable characters, including Ham in Toy Story, Mac in Cars, and the Underminer in The Incredibles. However, his relationship with the studio became estranged after the death of Pixar founder John Lasseter, a close friend. Ratzenberger later publicly criticized modern Pixar films as lacking in quality and being too political, leading to him appearing less in the studio's projects and distancing himself from the left-leaning entertainment scene in Hollywood. As of 2025, at age 78, John Ratzenberger is still active in voice acting and focusing on small business ventures. He currently lives with his wife in Washington State and co-founded EcoAC, a biodegradable packaging company, in the late 1980s. With an estimated net worth of $50 million, he has made his mark not only in the arts, but also in the sustainable business environment. The stars of Cheers not only left laughter on screen, but also stood as a testament to the strength, resilience, and depth of the people behind their iconic roles. While the Boston Bar is now a distant memory, their legacy lives on in the hearts of their fans. If you're a fan of Cheers and these legendary characters, don't forget to share your memories below. Let's remember the great moments that made the world laugh and moved. And if you love stories like this, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the next great video.